Hi Sagittarius, welcome. My name is Donna of Embracing Dawn, and this is your weekly read for, this is your weekly read for September 6th to September 12th. And I have pulled an archetype card. It actually popped itself out, so we're going to take it. And this will be the base for the reading this week. Archetype cards are, they represent symbols of people that represent patterns of behavior that we follow through life, you know, and we typically are have about 12 that are strong archetypes that we very much individually connect to and work with throughout our lives. And then others, there are many others that may pop in and pop out for us, represented through others mirroring, you know, showing up in our lives to trigger in those things to come forward. But typically we have, like I said, those 12 main ones. And for this week, for Sagittarius, we've got the attribute of slave. The light attribute is surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. And then the shadow attribute is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. So this is really about being controlled or being allowing the universe to guide. You know, it's not being in control, because when we allow the universe to, when we're connected to the divine and we let life flow with this fifth dimensional living, you know, when we really connect and pay attention to the signs and the signals, and it's like, okay, I hear you, intuition, wisdom, I'm gonna go for this. I'm not entirely sure, my ego's not sure, my mind's sure, my emotions aren't sure, but there's something in this space here that's sure. I'm gonna follow that flow. That is being in tune to the divine, and you're not necessarily controlling that because that's the universe, but you are allowing your free will to flow the way that the universe wants to, for you to go, to be guided, as opposed to, you know, giving your willpower over to someone else in authority and allowing for them to make decisions that have a strong and immediate impact in your life, you know, because you're afraid. So that's what that's about. So let's take some tarot. That was a long intro, sorry, but, you know, let's get some tarot to see about that. And this is the eternal, you know, sort of struggle, so to speak, that we humans have, you know, because we're spiritual beings in human form. And the eternal struggle is that battle between the ego and willpower and divine flow. And for so long, the closer we get to that space where we are connected into the divine, the more the ego will fight. Like, it will kick and scream. It does not go easily or lightly. And it will really try and challenge us and play mind games and head games with us, you know, and sometimes we can think we're just a wee bit crazy, but we're totally not. It's that we need to get control of our mind and get control of that ego, because it is meant to protect us. It is useful. However, over time, and so much time, the egos become our primary connection, you know, until we begin to wake up and become aware and awakened beings back to our true connection to source. So that's really what this energy is all about. It's about not allowing yourself to be controlled by, you know, an outside force out of the place of fear, because you're fearful of taking that action. And this is a big one because we've got some big, you know, some big characters in here. So we're starting out with the High Priest and Wisdom. So you are coming into a place, and this is Major Arcana. The High Priest is, you know, he is all-knowing, all-wise. He's Major Arcana. He's a big figure. He's tapped into the universe. Very strong. And this could represent you, you know, this could represent this transformation that you are using. It's time to use your wisdom. It's time to get into the flow, because you are capable of leaving fear behind and stepping off, you know, and into that bit of unknown. And I'm not saying go off willy-nilly and just, you know, throw everything out the window and take off on a road trip with no direction or anything. We all need to plan. We all need direction. We all need to set intention. You know, we do exert our willpower, but not from a place of fear and lack and control. You know, we don't defer to someone else because we're too afraid to make those decisions. We want to stand in our own power to do that. And using your wisdom, you know, this energy of the high priest here, we've got the sun, which is major arcana, and it's beautiful when the sun comes out. Like if you step into that flow, for those Sagittarius that are connecting to this, and you completely trust in the instinct, the wisdom, the cues that the universe is giving you through synchronicity, the phone calls, the repeated ads for something, you know, that you've been interested in, whatever it is, pay attention, because you've got the sun coming out, which means everything is beautiful and glowing, and it's like the utmost of great results when you're in that flow and you use that high priest energy of that wisdom, that self-guidance, your own internal moral compass, you know, being connected in. And then you've got the Knight of Swords, which that's air energy, so that's mental body, and you've got the Queen of Swords as well, which is air energy, and yeah, which is air energy as well. That's the mental body. So you've been battling with a lot of mental struggle. You know, it could be just as simple as some confusion, some conflicting thoughts around what to do, or, you know, how to sit in that place of divine trust and really take that leap. Perhaps there are other people in your life. You know, with these two characters here, we've got the younger masculine and we've got the more mature feminine here. Perhaps you've had a little bit of challenge from figures that represent those people in your life around making major decisions and going with that universal flow and allowing your life to unfold, you know, within that energy. Choosing to follow the divine. You know, it could be that you've received a little bit of sort of blowback from that, or it could be that your sort of mental anguish or confusion or you know, the clutter has been around how you feel that will impact others in your life, and how those that are important to you, how is these decisions of me, you know, making a decision, a conscious choice to completely trust the universe and go forward and fall into flow and follow my own wisdom and my own, you know, intuitive space that I'm very connected to, that how that will impact them. But you've got the sun here. It's going to do nothing but bring about the positive. And you've got the Seven of Swords here, more air energy. And this represents loss. So there's something that you felt you were going to lose. If it is that, you know, you gave up whatever system you were under before. So, you know, perhaps you were working for someone and they're, you know, they were terrible, they don't treat you well, and you know there's something better for you out there, but you didn't want to take the risk because you have responsibilities, you know, to others, so to speak, but your intuition is telling you that you really needed to. It's time. This is not a, you know, it's not a bad loss. Whatever this is, it's not a bad loss, because in the end you have another major arcana here with stability. You've got strength here, and strength is going to bring about stability. You've got the strength, and the universe has got your back here, Sagittarius. Like, the universe has got your back as long as you completely trust and come from that heart space where you're connected in with your heart space, you're connected in with your third eye, you're connected in with your source and universal energies. Really pay attention to that. And you've got these beautiful outcomes. You have 3 major arcana sitting here out of 6 cards. That's a big deal. Plus you have 2 court cards in here. So whatever this is for Sagittarius, those of you connecting to this, it's a big deal. It's only in a little weekly read, but it is a big deal, and it has the potential to really transform your life in a superbly positive way for all of those involved. And you've got the strength, you know, you're going to overcome this sense of loss that you have. And it may be, if you're transitioning from one space to another, you know, through making these choices and being in divine flow, Being in divine flow, maybe you've been guided to change your job. Being in divine flow, maybe you've been guided to change, your social group. Maybe you've been guided to move homes, move countries, and there's some loss around that. You're feeling a little bit of, your mental reflection. You're feeling like you're going to lose something by transitioning out of that, but you're transitioning into something that's so much more aligned for you. And whatever this was in the past, it has served its purpose. And now the conflict and, all of that mental, your will, sort of your ego getting in there, you're letting that drop, and all these beautiful things are going to come forward when you're using this archetype in its light attribute energy. But if you are stuck in having to control something, or you're stuck in not doing anything and giving someone else the power over you to make that executive decision because you're too afraid to move, then that's that shadow aspect. That's a lowering vibration, and that's not helping anyone. But the cards are not saying that. The cards are saying, you've got this. You've got the strength that's going to bring about stability. It's going to bring about the sun for all of those around you, this beautiful, loving, open energy. It's really going to open things up for you and help you to move through. But you've got to rely on your wisdom here. You've got to rely on your connection to source and your intuition. And for some of us, it's just a gut feeling. For others of us, it's a full conversation, that we can have with our source. And it's really all a matter of, once you get a glimmer of it, just practicing and practicing. It's like anything else, spiritual connection is like anything else. Sometimes it's spontaneous and it happens just like that. For most of us, it's not. It's, there's a glimmer, and then we grow it and we work at it and we build it, and eventually we become really connected and we flow. So let's pull one more card of advice and see where this goes. We just had the space between the worlds, exactly. And that is exactly what we were just talking about. That's your divine connection. That's your space between the thoughts. It's your space between when you're in meditation, it's when the ego drops, the mind drops, and you're in connection with all that is. And that's that wisdom space with the high priest, coming in with the high priest energy. And that's exactly, these two are perfectly aligned, because that's exactly what this card is saying. Stay in the flow, completely trust your gut, use your wisdom. You've gained the experience, you've got this, you've got the strength, and it's going to bring about stability and such a beautiful open blessing for you and all of those close to you, okay? So Sagittarius, that's your weekly message for September 6 to 12. Remember to live big and shine your light bright. Until next time.